Hey, welcome everybody. Josh RV Nerd of Bish's RV here with a very popular family camper. Now, this is what I'm going to kind of call that starting to hit into that upper middle class of the RV segment. There's no real clear lines and definitions of like the pecking order of models in the RV industry. But where I come up with that designation is this is still a stick-built camper, but it has a lot of upgrades that frankly even a lot of laminated aluminum framed RVs don't have. So it's one of these models that kind of punches above its weight class. Like we have an enclosed underbelly and holding tank heat pads. We've got a optional fiberglass skin package going on this one. Normally this would still be a tin skin camper. We got a little mini camp kitchenette, but including an ice maker on the outside. We've even got a factory standard backup camera and rear cargo rack, which could be handy not just for bringing kids bikes, but like depending on how you camp. You want a place to be able to bring a generator with you on a small RV? Normally there isn't one. That potentially gives you an opportunity for something like that, and a bunch of other good things like that electric space heating fireplace. We have a air fryer, convection oven, microwave thing. However, we don't have a propane oven. We do have a propane stovetop, and we have propane cooking outside as well. So there's some things this RV still doesn't do, but it packs a lot of features into a smaller rig, like a bigger air conditioner, also factory standard, and a new wider bed, albeit a short mattress. So if you're like me, you're going to have to enjoy that wider mattress because you're going to need to sleep a little bit crooked in that sucker to make yourself fit. But every RV has its ups and downs. What I want to do with this footage today is introduce you to this RV if it's your first time seeing it, show you the ins and outs of it, let you know what it does and what it maybe doesn't do, or things that you should think about before dropping a whole lot of money on this. And if you appreciate the candor and the clarity, hit that subscribe button, like our video. And in the meantime, let's get inside and see what this may or may not offer you and your family. And this probably means nothing to you, but this is the kind of floor plan in my head I call a tweener, because it's not the smallest a bunk room with a slide possibly could be, or bunkhouse camper with a slide possibly could be, but it's also nowhere close to the biggest. It just sort of fits right in between, but it also slides in just under that 30-foot mark, which isn't terrible. Now, sometimes at the 30-foot mark, you can actually get something still with a full super slide, like our Go Play like 26 BHS is a good example of that. But every RV has its positives and negative qualities. Like, what does Grey Wolf bring to the table? First of all, they have the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber Smurf light that goes on above the thing here. But those blue lights have some pretty wicked, crazy intensity. I've never been a super big fan of the whole blue light fad in the RV industry. I appreciate the fact that they let you shut those things off, and to me, that just feels far more warm and natural without it. But some people like them, so that's totally up to you what you want to do with it. Now, this is a big True U dinette, and I'm not normally a fan. Well, I'm not a fan of knee knocker pedestal posts in dinettes. That's my personal take, by the way. But I do think in this instance, it's the best way to secure a dinette table, because this is a step-up slide-out. This is a Norco exact slide system. One of the benefits of that is when the slide's retracted, you should be able to sit in it. One of the downsides is that it's a step-up slide in this execution. And if the table wasn't bolted in place with those pedestal legs, if you bump the table, you could knock it out of the slide and cause a spill. And because it's a U dinette, there's not a slide sidewall to which that table could be attached. So it's not my favorite, but I do think it's the best that you could do in this instance. Grey Wolf also goes with a 15,000 BTU air conditioner standard on here, so there's no need to upgrade from a 13.5. And sometimes it's just the little things. The fact that, even though it's weird, the way that they did kind of a Jack and Jill curtain situation, you can privatize either just the top or bottom or both bunks at the same time, which a lot of RVs at this price point, you get one curtain and then the kids end up fighting over it. Now, they're usually, yes, there we go. They're usually very good about making sure that we have power outlets to keep kid devices charged up and entertaining the kids on a rainy day. Both bunks do have a window. I want to be clear, though. Only the bottom window opens for airflow. I have that privacy shade pulled, so you can't really say that. The top bunk window does not open for airflow. Here's another thing people don't think about. When you have these double over double bunks that are curtain closed like this, only the top bunk directly has air conditioning. The bottom bunk is passively enjoying air conditioning from the main cabin. So if you pull that curtain closed, It can get hot down there real quick. And I don't know about your kids. My daughter's just like me. When she goes to sleep, she just generates a lot of heat. She'll always go to sleep with a blanket on her and always wake up without it because she'll end up sweating to death all night if she doesn't. So just kind of how it goes. You might notice the floor is carpetless and ventless, and you might notice you don't have a microwave in the overhead section here. Instead, what you have is basically double the overhead cabinetry you would normally encounter. This RV does not have a propane oven. We have a propane stovetop. We have a propane outside cooker. Down here, we actually have air fryer, electric oven, microwave job. What? Apparently, it's on the European military time because currently it's 54 after 14, ladies and gentlemen. Which it's incredible how many people think that means 4:54 p.m. That's not what it is. Oh, we're in a Black Label Edition model, which means we upgrade the kitchen counter from I ran out of oxygen for a second there. Sorry, I was like from thermofoil to solid surface. No matter which version of this you get, though, you'll get the nice faucet, the 5-piece smart sink, the skirted black stainless sink. Those things always look really, really sharp to me. Also, you don't have a ton of counter space here, but look where your kitchen power outlets are located. Right next to the countertop level. Usually when you see fiberglass walls on the outside of the RV, fiberglass skin, you don't get power outlets really where you want them. You don't have that challenge on this RV. Now, this camper has a peekaboo, I smell you bathroom door. There's a couple different reasons manufacturers may be doing this. And I think that Cherokee probably does it for the same reason Rockwood does, though, because they include the bigger vent fan in here so that if you want to leave the bathroom door closed, but you want to leave some windows open in the living room, it can force a 5 to 6 mile an hour breeze through the RV, which is actually pretty cool. Now, I'm a little bit over 6 foot tall. The RV's 6'6" from floor to sidewall, or from floor to ceiling rather. So when I stand in this thing, I have to put my head up in that bubble. I can do it. It's fine, but it's not everybody's favorite thing. Now, normally the curtain wouldn't like this. I just had the curtain pulled out of the way so you could more easily see the upgraded shower hardware that you get with the Black Label Edition, which has the ear rinser if you pretend to play telephone wand. It's also allegedly good for your undercarriage. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You also have Nerdism number 37. I call it the Cherokee Shub. It's not a shower. It's not a tub. This is some in-betweener kind of thing. Now, first of all, let's talk leg room. You notice over on the left side of the screen, the hip, shoulder, elbow, leg room on this thing is awesome. Now, just to really drive this point home, I intentionally left this door wide open so that like you could see, yeah, theoretically, if you for some reason forget to close the bathroom door, yeah, it could be a little bit awkward. Let me come here. I shouldn't have opened it that far. The thing is, when you're sitting on the toilet, you can reach over here. You can deadbolt that sucker. You can make sure that no one's going to come in. What I also wanted to demonstrate is something else I don't personally like. I like that they gave us a full window in the entry door. I don't like it that when you're sitting on the toilet, you're just, I feel a little exposed here. You know what I mean? That's not my idea of a relaxing time. And everyone knows sometimes when you eat a little too much cheese, you need to relax a little bit. Start drinking that soluble fiber. Follow me for more tips. Okay. What do you think about this, by the way? They went with this new vessel sink. It's much, much bigger than the old sink used to be. I don't know that you're really gaining or losing any countertop space as a result, but I know some people have very specific feelings about those things right there. Anyway, moving on from there, moving our way up. What do we want to talk about next? Oh, crap on a spatula. I have not given you a decent look at all the storage that this thing has. Despite the fact I said I would open stuff up, I have closed off the bedroom. You have sliding privacy doors right there. They don't have swinging doors in this model. Looking down around here in the kitchen, these used to have 2 big kitchen drawers. It now has 1 big kitchen drawer and a little wastebasket drawer with a nice little wastebasket included. Now you could always put the wastebasket under the sink because there's room there and regain a second drawer. That's up to you. It's like a little choose your own adventure book. They let you do that. Giving you a look at all the different pieces and parts in your little 5-piece smart sink, as they're called, with the little cup sprayer and everything. What's everyone's opinion on those? Is that important to you when you're shopping an RV, having all the fancy sink components, or would you rather just have a nice big sink? I don't think there's a wrong answer. I just don't know what the right one is because it's kind of new. And I am a very simple person, as you probably have discerned by now based off my sophomore sense of humor. But I don't know that I necessarily care for all the crazy glitzy fancy crap, you know. I do like that chest style freezer drawer under that. That's one of the 10 cubic foot 12 volt fridges, by the way. Now over here, they had just some extra space between the bunks and the dinette. So they created like a floor to ceiling pantry, which is worth its weight in gold. I think that is some awesome, awesome storage space right there. But you also have some really, really big drawers below this really big dinette. First of all, that can fold down into a nice, large sleeper. Secondly, your two end benches have these big full extension drawers right here. And just to give you a size reference, I actually took the dinette posts and put them in this drawer. I need to do more size reference things. Is stuff like that handy? Or like, do you get it without? I don't know, something. When I look at a 3-dimensional object on a 2-dimensional camera and screen, it just doesn't always read the same to me, so I like to try to give you that extra info. Now I'm going to try not to kill myself and step over this drawer. I probably should have just cut the footage and come back, but I didn't. I haven't talked about the fact that you have a clutter cutter shoe garage right under that electric fireplace. That is handy. This could be an instant deal breaker. I really should have talked about this sooner. Apologies there. It's a wider mattress. Their website, I don't know if they're going to call it a king or a queen or what, but it's 66 inches wide, which is nice, but it's 74 inches long. It's short. It's not 80 inches long like residential. And because it comes all the way up to the sliding doors, because they were trying to target a 30-foot total tip-to-tail length of this, it means that you can't really put a longer mattress in here. So it is what it is. If that's a deal breaker, respect, I get it. That's why I wanted to take a second to point it out. But it's not going to be awesome for everybody. If you're not as tall as me, it won't be a problem. By the way, what do you think about this? They're trying to get away from the boxy valances and lambrequins, but they didn't want just the privacy shade bolted onto the wall. They just took a piece of trim, cut it down to size, finished the end of it nicely, which I appreciate. And then there you go. Like, it's not much, but it's enough. Right? Like, it doesn't have to be super over the top, flashy, fancy. It just got to be something. Speaking of that, they enclosed the store. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I don't even know that they needed those because you don't need them to open the cabinet door. Sorry, squirrel. Regardless, that's not massive storage, and a lot of manufacturers won't give you any cabinet doors over it. They didn't give us, full on gas struts to hold them up, but at least they enclose the storage. And I don't think I'm going to get into that upper storage super duper often. Now, this is a weird thing. It's one of the only things that you go backwards on with Black Label. If this was the standard series, that tall toothpick window on the campsite of the RV, that would actually open for airflow for whatever reason. And it's always been this way. I don't understand. Maybe there's a supplier limitation I don't know about, but when you go Black Label, you lose an airflow window there. Well, some bummer news for you. I don't know what's going on with this camper. And basically they set me up in here and then they just left. I don't know if we popped a fuse. I don't see any blown fuses. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I am not able to close the slide like I would normally do for you. I'm not able to display this RV in road mode. Now, I've done this floor plan in the past. If you want to look up some of my historic videos, if I remember, I'll try to leave you a link to one. If I forget, drop me a note and I'll circle back on that and get it to you. But what I can tell you is when the slide's closed, it's a little tight here next to the counter, but that slide won't come all the way up to it. It's going to come close though, but you can slip through. So without opening the slide, you can get to the bathroom, bedroom, bunks, kitchen, and because this is a Norco exact slide system, in theory, you should be able to actually use that while it's retracted. Now, I would recommend using it as little as possible and understand the information I just gave you is not technically factory sanctioned. So I don't know if Cherokee says, yes, that's okay. But the exact slide people, they say our system can support that. That's not an issue whatsoever. So I still want to provide you some information and some benefit. Apologies I'm not able to display it, because that's the reason you're watching a video and not just listening to the radio, you know? Now, considering the fact that tip to tail, tongue to bumper, this RV is just under 30-foot maximum total length. And when you look at the total GVW weight rating on this, there's some very reasonable half-ton towing potential on this. Now, it's going to depend on the capacities of your half-ton specifically, and also where you plan to take it, because where you go matters almost as much as what you tow. I like that rhyme. I may try to incorporate that more often. That sounded good. I also want to point out, the one that we're looking at today is in Black Label Edition, which you see fiberglass. And when you see fiberglass, you usually associate that with a lighter weight aluminum framework. That's not what this RV is. This is what I refer to as a hybrid style of construction. I've actually got a construction style video if you're kind of curious to learn a little bit more about that. But that means that this RV weighs more. Cousin Garrett, could you flash the weights and measures up on the left side of the screen again? So what you're looking at on the left is the base weights and measures. This specific RV, optioned as you see it, is 5,856 pounds, which means it has 1,721 pounds of available cargo capacity, if I am mathing correctly. So the base version of this, probably 200 to 300 pounds lighter, with 200 to 300 pounds more cargo capacity. And I love that. I love that they thought, okay, what if somebody adds every option to this? Do we still have enough cargo capacity available to them? And they built the RV with the chassis, the running gear, and everything accordingly to be able to accommodate that. That is what I want to see from an RV builder, because it's been my experience, and it's not a guarantee, but there's a correlation, I'm telling you, between RVs that have a lower cargo capacity and a higher rate of failure, because the structure is just really getting worked over all the time. You don't quite have that here. You also don't quite have a full true pass-through. It's accessible over here on the campsite and under the bed, but not all the way through, because your on-demand water heaters over there on the other side. The awning coverage on this, I think, is pretty solid given the size of the RV. It doesn't include the bathroom door, obviously, but to do that, they would have had to like shift the awning too far close to the front entry door, where that could have been problematic. So they covered the primary door first and foremost, which I think makes sense. Got the little I don't even know if I want to call this a camp kitchenette. I'm going to call this a drinky drink convenience station, because I have stupid childish names for everything, because I grew up in Dr. Seuss land and never grew up as a Toys R Us kid. We've got a 110 powered mini fridge outside. So inside's 12 volt, outside's 110, meaning if you're boondocking or traveling, that fridge ain't running. Neither is the ice maker down there. Now, the thing is, as long as you've got 110 power and you've got water, and considering you have a water source right there, you should be good. This sucker can pump out ice. These things work really well, because that cavity where these things are sitting, they get hot. I do also want to mention, again, being just ultra fair, if you leave this baggage door open all the time, you are technically opening air into the RV. That's not a sealed cavity and compartment. So if you leave that open all the time, that area, the cabinets under the kitchen sink, they could get a little bit warmer. They're going to contain some heat. So I would recommend only opening that in the summertime when you need to, and then closing it the rest of the time there. Now, this is something that freaks people out who have never gone camping. And a lot of people who do have experience camping realize the benefit of this, having a door straight into the bathroom. And I think what freaks people out is what I just did. You're afraid that when you're sitting there doing what you do, the neighbors are going to see you, and you're going to have to live with that embarrassment and that shame. The thing is, that door deadbolts, so you have a choice. You can choose to poop alone or poop with friends. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. And you can reach that from the toilet. And you don't need go-go gadget arms to do it. The thing is, that's not the cool thing about having a door straight in the bathroom. Cutting down on dirty kid foot traffic, trekking through your entire camper, and sparing you the need to do a lot of extra cleaning, that is the cool thing about a second door straight into the bathroom. Now, if You need to make how many times have you passed like a gas station on a long drive, and immediately after you're like, kids, you got to use the bathroom? They're like, no. You're like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, I'm sure. The moment you pass, they're like, I gotta pee. You're like, brrr. Well, the good news is you can stop real quick, go straight into that thing, and not have a little roadside emergency accident or something like that. On the back here, 200-pound rated cargo rack before the spare tire's added. I don't know what the spare tire weighs exactly. Anybody have an idea? Drop a comment, like 40 pounds, 60 pounds? I don't know what that thing weighs, but you're going to have to subtract that from your 200-pound total. Maybe do the thing where you stand on the weigh scale and then you grab the tire and stand on it again. Backup camera, factory standard, no matter which version of this you get, standard series or black label. Both of them also are ladder prepped, and they do have walkable roofing. So let me give you a very quick rundown of the structure of this. This is going to be super simplified. Roof decking is 3/8 OSB. Roof trusses, 16-inch on center, 5-inch vaulted. Your walls are an average 16-inch on center, sometimes less, actually. Your floors are 12-inch on center floor joists below 5/8 tongue and groove plywood. Now, it doesn't matter, again, if you're looking at the standard tin skin like you see back there in the background, that blue and white stuff, that's the same brand of camper that we're looking at. When you get black label, you dress it up and press it up with this whole gray skin package. Now, the nose is not fiberglass. I see so many people on videos getting that wrong. I'm like, if you don't even, like, you can walk up to this with your wedding ring and go like this and know that's not fiberglass. And evidently, that's too hard for them. They'd rather just be, I don't know, lazy and just give you bad info. I don't know. I just see that stuff all the time. I'm like, guys, come on, it's not that hard. But judging by the puddle, by the steps over there, maybe somebody didn't make it to the bathroom in time. Maybe that morning coffee hit a little hard. And once again, there's the standard 23 DBH, then there's the black label 23 DBH. They're the same RV. This is just a trim package on top, kind of like if you got like the XLT or the Lariat trim package. One has more widgets and whiz bangs, but it weighs a little more and it costs a little more. That's the flip side. So to help you understand how much the difference is, I'm going to leave you some links in the video description. Whether you're curious or serious, you're one click away from seeing if we have any of these in stock, what the actual price tag of one of these might be, without a need to necessarily contact a salesperson every time you're curious. You know, I'm no different than you. I'm not always ready to talk to a person whose paycheck depends on my paycheck. Really, in a sense, that's a very real way of saying it. Sometimes I'm like, I just need to absorb this at my own pace. We like to try to provide that for you if we can. What we don't like to provide, though, are hidden dealer fees. We don't do that crap. So if you see our price tag, it's just basically plus your taxes, title, license, state stuff like that. And of course, if you want to add $2,000 of accessories, we can't predict that either. Just if I don't say it, someone's like, yeah, but you said, okay, let's be reasonable. Anyway. When you're ready, we're ready. And until then, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.